Hey, this is Catherine with the Wright team at Remax Professionals, and we're doing another installation of the real estate. Today we're talking about home inspections. I'm just going to quickly go through what a home inspector does. It's a scary process for many people, but if you sort of understand what they're looking for, then it's not so bad. I'm going to go from top to bottom of a house. So top, the roof. They're looking to make sure that the shingles are in good shape, that they still have enough thickness to them, that they don't have discoloration, that they're not lifted up. They're making sure that the part underneath it is still good. So when they go up on the roof and they press down, they don't feel any softness in the wood underneath the shingles. They're going to look around if you have a fireplace, they're going to look around and make sure that the trim and the flashing around the fireplace is good. Sometimes they'll ask about a cricket. That will move the water away from that part of the roof where the fireplace is, especially if you have multiple edges to the roof itself. And so they're going to look there, and then they're going to look at what's called a fascia, which is the board that comes out like this around the edge of the house. And so they're going to look at the fascia going up, going down, all the way around, make sure that that's solid. And then underneath that board is called the soffit. They're going to look under the soffit and make sure that that's good. They're going to look for ridge vents, which goes into the attic, to make sure that you have good ridge vents and that there's no pest or anything growing in there. Then they're going to look at the exterior of the house. They're going to make sure that everything is watertight. They're going to look around the windows. The windows need to have caulk around the edges. The wood needs to be in good shape. It needs to be painted. The windows themselves needs to be in good shape as well, with screens on them if they open. When you look down, you're going to see when you're looking down the side of a house and you're almost to the bottom, you're going to see the weep holes. They're going to see if you have weep holes, especially if it's a brick house. And that helps the house to, if there's moisture that gathers in between the exterior and the inside of the house, then it'll help dispel that. They're going to look around the edges, make sure that there's no missing mortar, nothing missing or any showing of problems with their foundation. So that's the exterior of the house. They're going to look around the fence line, make sure the gates open and close, make sure that the trees are not hanging over your house, and then they're going to watch and see how the water slopes and how the ground slopes around the house so that the water will wash away. If you have any gutters, they're going to see if the gutter system is working. So they're going to look for whether or not there's signs of water getting in or into the house or around the house or pulling up near the house. And they're going to mention it if they see that. So that's the exterior of the house. You come into the house. They're going to be looking to make sure that there's no signs of water damage, that there's no signs of cracking or foundation issues, and they're going to see if there's any holes anywhere and that everything is solid. So you walk through the rooms, and if you're double checking before a home inspection, make sure that everything is done properly. Make sure that everything is solid and in good repair. No water needs to be in the house, except in the sink. So they're also going to turn on all of the faucets and the plumbing throughout the house and make sure that it holds and maintains the water pressure, because sometimes if you turn everything on, it's actually not done well. The plumbing's not done well. And so it'll stop at one point of the house. And so find that out. Make sure hot water is on where the hot water is marked. Cold water is where the cold water is marked. Look under the sink. Make sure that there's no water coming out underneath the sink. And make sure everything is watertight. Water is a huge deal. So is foundation. Making sure that the floor needs to be all the way flat. It needs to be, you walk through the house and everything is flat. Next is electrical. They're going to test the outlets and make sure each one is grounded and working. They're going to test which light switch goes for which, make sure that you can turn on and off the lights. They're going to look at the fans and make sure those turn on. They're going to look at the different things in the appliances in the kitchen. They're going to see if you have an anti-tilt device put on your stove so that a kid can't come and pull on the stove and fall on top of them. You're going to look for just whether or not the dishwasher runs through a whole cycle without stopping. Then you're going to look for the air conditioning. They're going to test the air conditioning and the furnace. With the air conditioning, they're actually going to take a little gun, razor gun looking thing, or laser gun looking thing. It's really cool. And test what the temperature is coming out of the vent. So they'll turn it so that it'll turn on, and then they test the temperature, and it should be a certain degree significant difference from out here to there, so that you can feel like, wow, it's cooling. And then they're going to test the furnace, make sure that comes on, test the hot water heater, make sure everything is working. This is what a home inspection is. Also, they're going to look into the attic and make sure that you have adequate layers of insulation, and make sure that the flue for the chimney is separate from electrical wiring, and that there's enough of an opening so that it's not touching anything. And so they're just making sure there's no fire hazards there. They're also going to make sure that there's no electrical wires that are just hanging out on their own, not inside of a junction box. And so these are things that come up a lot, because people, maybe they weren't paying attention to the wiring they were doing. Maybe they did it themselves, and make sure that, you know, it's done properly, done by an actual electrician. And so those are that's just the run through of things that we find in a home inspection. If you want to test for a home inspection, just go through, listen to this video, and see what you can see based on what you're looking for. Of course, a certified home inspector is qualified to look a lot deeper than a regular person is.